Welcome to Supers Live. This is a Super Modified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series, and we are so glad you could join us here tonight for the 16th Annual Terry Gibson Memorial at Sandusky Speedway, and we've got an exciting race. Sorry about the late start here. We got a little bit late going into our time trials. We got those completed. We're getting our feature race set up, but let's talk a little bit about why we're here and what we're doing tonight. Tonight we're honoring and remembering Terry Gibson, a super modified racer that lost his life at Toledo Speedway in 2008. Terry, of course, part of the famed Gibson family of racers, and Terry is one of those kinds of guys that did more with less, and always did his things his way. Even while he was part of that iconic first family of super modified racing, the Gibsons out of Richwood, Ohio, Terry was successful in what he did, a serviceman as well. And tonight we honor him as we do all of the drivers that have passed, and we want to make sure that you know who they are, and we want to make sure that you know who real super modified or what real super modified racing is. We have got kind of a short field tonight, but still a strong field of 10 racers in to go for the 16th annual Terry Gibson Memorial win. And as well as being a special memorial event tonight, a couple of extra special things. This is also part of the 2024 Ohio State 500 series, 100-lap races throughout the state of Ohio. Here in the virtual world, this is race number 2 of that 5-race series. Our first one back in October was won by Zach Sears, your current point leader for the Super Modified Ultimate Pavement Racing Series. And we are also awarding a guaranteed starting spot for the 20th Annual Summit Classic in April at Madera Speedway. So a lot of stuff online, including a supercharger tonight for the driver that advances the most positions from where he started. Time trials are over. Bob Gangler picked up the fast time. I don't like to brag, but I was able to do that tonight. Dave O is back with us. He is the defending race winner. And before we talk to Dave, though, we've got a special guest in the broadcast here tonight. Joining us from Richwood, Ohio, Larry Gibson, Terry's brother and president of the 350 Outlaw Supermodified Sprint Car Series. Larry, welcome to the broadcast. We're so happy to have you in tonight.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you calling me.
Well, I'll tell you what, when we talk about Terry, and last night we ran the Gibson Fast 50 to honor all the Gibsons, but especially your father, Todd, and your brother, Jeff, and your mother, Brenda, who have passed on. But tonight we honor your brother Terry. And we were talking a little bit and down through the years, getting to know you guys. Terry just kind of marched to the beat of a different drummer compared to the rest of you Gibsons. He did what he liked to do, and he did it his way. Tell us a little bit more about your brother and some of the special things that made him stand out amongst all the Gibsons.
Terry started out running dirt. He started out in the mini sprints and something he could afford to do. And I mean, he really enjoyed throwing it sideways and flinging dirt at people. So that's where he started, and that's where he kind of cut his teeth. And I don't know why he was that way. That's just the way Terry was. He just wanted to do something different, something that he could do on his own. And those things are starters and clutches. So he was able to just literally he just had a little pickup truck and an old snowmobile trailer and loaded it up and went to the races by himself. So that's just how he started and what he continued to do.
I think that's one of the cool things, though. I mean, we often forget these days with enclosed trailers and high dollar engines and all that racing was not only started out to be fun, but beat your better man and do it as cheap as you can.
Exactly.
And Terry was good about that.
Yep. I mean, that's the same way I started out. I mean, when I started running the midget series, I had a 77 Chevy pickup truck that I drove up to your house one night with a 12-foot open trailer, and I went to the races. And when I could beat all the guys with the enclosed trailers and all the good equipment, I would just laugh all the way home thinking, yeah, your trailer didn't get you to the finish line.
That's a great point, Larry. And one of the things that you're doing now is you've taken the 350 crate mentality that's just the rage of the real super modified racing, and
Right. Yep.
you put it into the whole deal with the Ohio group, kind of going back, but yet still going forward and making racing affordable. You guys have quite the thing going now. Starting your third year and expanding
Yes.
your schedule. Talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, this year we opened up a little bit. We're spreading our wings. We got 2 races in Michigan, M40 and Flat Rock, and then we got one over in Indiana, over to Plymouth. Um, Trying to branch out a little bit, let people see what we do, what we can do, the kind of shows we can put on. I mean, I think I'm not bragging on my own stuff, but I think we put on some really good shows. I mean, last year at the High Miler, we had Frankie and Clay going at it, passing each other lap after lap. And it was like, that was really cool. That was old fashioned racing, just, getting after it and passing each other and crossing each other over. And, with the 350 series and the 10-inch tire, everything is kind of, neutral as far as, doesn't, you ain't got to have that big horsepower. And so we still limit the horsepower. We're limiting the motors and trying to keep everybody on an equal playing field. So, even the Bobby Gangler with $20,000 can come in, buy a car, and be competitive. You don't have to have that $50,000 deal to run up front. I mean, every guy has an equal opportunity to win a race, and that's what I want to do, and that's what I'm basing it on, and that's where I want to keep it going.
I think that's pretty incredible. Although, you stop and think about $20,000, Larry, I might just have to come over to your house and drive one of those new cars that you're finding across this country. you're
Oh yeah.
bringing all these great race cars from back in the day into Ohio, and hopefully that expands into Indiana and Michigan, kind of the original hotbeds of super modified racing before Toledo Speedway even ran super modifieds. So I think it's pretty cool what you're doing with the 350s. And the cool thing is the sprint cars are racing with the super modifieds. I think that's pretty awesome too.
Yep. We're letting them. They actually weigh almost 400 pounds less than a super, and that's at the end of the day, that's where we're trying to make them competitive. Still looking at other options if they're not competitive. What can I do to get them more competitive? I mean, I'm always looking at different things, listen to different people. But that's giving them guys someplace else to run other than just the series that they have. I mean, I'm not trying to take them from anybody. I'm not trying to, to do anybody over. I'm just giving them another opportunity to come and race with us. And we do pay $300 to start a regular show, and it gives them some decent money to operate with. So that's we just try to keep it cheap. Set of tires. I had a guy win a race last year that was on 3-week-old tires. When's the last time that happened?
I can't think of any times that in recent
Yeah.
history of super modified racing that has happened. That just doesn't happen for sure. Larry,
Right.
tell people a little bit more about how they can find out, maybe even pick up their own super modified or sprint car and go racing with a 350 Outlaw Super Modified Sprint Series.
Basically, I mean, any old super. I mean, there's plenty of them out there. I mean, if you can do some work or you can hire people to do the work, any super modified or even any pavement sprint car, they're both legal. Then basically, you can either have a sealed up 604 from the GM factory, or you can build the motor on your own. Everything has a weight break. Everything has a weight rule. What you choose to do is what your rules are going to be. And I mean, that's about as simple as I can make it. 650 carburetor, alcohol or gasoline. I mean, it's right now we're finding these 604 crate motors online for anywhere between $4,000 and 6,500, and they're complete motors. So you can overhaul them, and you're still 6 to 7,000. You got a complete motor. Drop it in whatever car you choose to pick. We've got me and Bobby Jackson. We got 2 or 3 other cars that we've located that are for sale. So if somebody's looking for something, reach out to us. I know there's 2 of them sitting right now that can be bought for about 10 grand, and you can another 5, 6 thousand, put your motor in it. Less than 20, you're at the racetrack being competitive.
But maybe that's less than that if those are the 2 cars that are sitting in your garage. It all depends on what Lisa says has to go, right?
Well, this is true. Yeah, this is true. But there's actually 2 other ones that are over on the East Coast that we know about that we've been talking to the guy, and like I was talking to you earlier, I have made 3 trips to New York, picked up cars, brought them back, sold them to guys, and I mean it's yeah, it's a lot of running on my end, but at the end of the day, it's what I got to do to keep things going. We're looking, Bobby, we're looking between 15 and 25 cars for next year, from what we started out. I mean, literally last year, I owned 4 cars and had a motor in another one. So, and everybody bought the car at the end of the year because they loved what they were doing and they thought it was a great deal. So, it's just a growing series right now. I mean, there's, like I said, there's several supers that are setting out there that can be bought up, or I mean, I know there's some that are, people are just sitting on and waiting to see what happens. And I think another year or two, we're going to be right there and be happy with it.
Well, I want to wish you the best of luck this coming season. I think it's kind of cool you're venturing out into Michigan at Flat Rock and M40 and into Indiana at Plymouth, and these nice little tight bull rings that really put on a good show, or are perfect for the 350 Outlaw Supermodified Sprint Series. Folks, you want to find out more about what they're doing and why they're doing it, go to the outlaw350series.com. That's outlaw350, the numbers, series.com. And you can check out more about them. And maybe somebody like a very good sim racer, like our reigning champion, Dave O, who's also the defending winner of the Terry Gibson Memorial, and is looking to win his 5th Terry Gibson Memorial tonight. Kind of pony up and, become one of the, you hear all the time about these sim racers that become real racers. Maybe you could sell one of your super modifieds to Dave O, and he can come racing from Connecticut and go racing with 350 Smack in the Outlaw Super Modified Sprint Series. I think that would be great.
Oh, it'd be cool. That'd be cool. Bobby, that's the other thing you mentioned. Short tracks. When I look at these tracks, I specifically do not go to big tracks because I do not want horsepower to be a factor in any form. I want it to be driver ability, car setup, and equal playing field. And that's why we are going to stay on small tracks, small venues. We're not. Sandusky will be the biggest track we go to.
Well, I think you have to be there. I mean, that's in the hotbed, the heart, that Lorain County, and places like Midville and so on and so forth. But Larry, best of luck to you. I hope everything goes well for you this year. Hope we can get out to see you, and maybe some of our members and some of the people tuned in to the Supers live broadcast tonight have learned a little bit more and want to go and check you guys out.
Okay, appreciate it, and wish all your racers the best of luck tonight. And and again, in the memory of Terry, this is something that Terry and I had talked about 25, 30 years ago. But we were thinking more of the old 8-inch offset, the fiberglass body, no wing deal. But that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of into it and trying to push forward through it, because it's something that him and I had talked about. So I kind of live through him, and sometimes I just sit back and I think about what would Terry tell me to do next. So it's still, there's not a day goes by I don't think about him and Gup and Mom and Dad.
I know that's true, and we're certainly hope that we can do Terry and the rest of the family, especially Mom and Dad and Jeff, a great honor here by doing what our little thing is in virtual racing. Larry, thanks so much for joining us here tonight, and this one's for Terry.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good night, Bobby.
Larry Gibson, ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the broadcast tonight. Terry Gibson's brother and son of Todd Gibson, and president of the Super Modified Sprint Series, the 350 Outlaw Super Modified Sprint Series. We got our defending winner. We're going to talk to him real quick. Dave O, welcome in. I know you're racing on a controller tonight. You look pretty quick in time trials. Do you think you can pull off your 5th Terry Gibson Memorial win tonight here at Sandusky Speed?
I actually ended up switching. I ran a few laps on the controller, and then I got controller shamed by my dad. So I put the memo up on the desk for qualifying and didn't secure the pedals at this new desk in the new house here. So the pedals moved all around me on qualifying, but we got our laptop and our cardboard box behind the pedals, so it's not going to move. So just go ahead with the memo and try. But yeah, I think we're ready. We'll see.
Well, I think if there's anybody that could do it, it's Dave O. What do you think about picking up one of those real super modifieds and sliding into the seat of one of those?
I don't know. Brad's been bugging me about driving one of his grandpas or uncles or someone in his family has one. I don't listen to him half the time, so because most of the time it's never going to come true. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's a great opportunity for anybody, including sim racers that would want to get involved in a cost-effective way and go racing and do something a little bit different in the short tracks across America, including places close to you like Stafford Motor Speedway and the Waterford Speed Bowl. So 350 Smack running out your way as well as at Thompson. So it's neat to have it. Neat to hear you in here. I'm glad you were able to make it in, and good luck tonight defending your Terry Gibson Memorial Championship.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to give you the starting lineup of the 16th Annual Terry Gibson Memorial at Sandusky Speedway. You're enjoying live Super Modified Sim Racing of the Finest on the SUPRS Broadcasting Network.